What is going on, my fellow garbage men? It is I, the Biotrash Man here, and what you are watching is some War Thunder Ground Forces gameplay. I'm playing as a tank destroyer here, and I figured how about today I go and talk to you guys about the tank destroyers in War Thunder Ground Forces. So, what is a tank destroyer? Now, many of you guys may see tanks kind of like this in the video, and it'd be like, what the frick is that tank? What country is that? How do I get one? Or where do I not get one, maybe? Well, this is a tank destroyer. Now, in the wars, I don't know if they still make them, actually, but during World War II, they were cheaper to make than tanks, and they were designed to destroy tanks and do nothing else but that. This had advantages and disadvantages. An advantage is, of course, that it is a lot more defendable than a tank. It can probably take a lot more hits and isn't as easily bombarded and blown up than some of your tanks are. A disadvantage is non-rotatable turrets. So if your tracks go out, you're dead. There's no point in trying anymore. I mean, maybe you can get off a few more shots, but if they're anywhere near you, they're going to get you. So that's the thing you need to watch out for, is to make sure your tanks are prepared. Or not prepared, but protected. You also need to make sure that you have the upgrade for these things as soon as possible for replaceable tracks. I think that's exchangeable parts. Make sure you have that. That's going to help you a ton if you play Tank Destroyer. Now, let's say you're fighting a Tank Destroyer. I have personally felt that Tank Destroyers are a bit overpowered in this game. There's been plenty of times where I've taken out their barrel and they can just ram into me and flip me over, and then I'm dead. Maybe if I can take out their barrel. The tank destroyer is heavily defensible on its front and sides, except for its treads. So if you're facing its front or side, just fire at the treads. Don't worry about getting a critical hit or hitting the captain or hitting the ammo rack. Don't worry about that. It's too heavily armored for another tank to take out. If you're in a different tank destroyer, best bet is probably just going to be to outflank it and get to its back. For a tank, we're going to talk about that here in a second, because as far as I know, a tank destroyer can move faster than a tank. Therefore, it's really hard to outmaneuver him. Your best bet is to get to his side, maybe to his front. I heavily do not suggest that, because he will just shred you to bits, and just fire at those treads. Once one of his treads are out, you need to get behind him. Getting behind him, he can't hit you because he doesn't have a rotational turret. So first off, you can take as much time as you need if you had that. But I'm guessing the enemy is probably going to be closing in on your position. So your best idea is just to freaking fire as much as you can into his backside and just hope you kill him fast enough. Like I said, personally, I feel that tank destroyers are a bit overpowered. I don't think they need as high as a damage resistance as they have. They definitely, I feel like, have a better armor penetration rate than a tank does, and their speed doesn't help that at all. Now, do I feel like a tank destroyer should have some advantages over a tank? Yes, but I feel like a tank needs equal advantages over a tank destroyer. The biggest advantage a tank has is the rotational turret, meaning that you can't knock out its treads and get behind him. The disadvantage is a tank destroyer doesn't need to do that. A tank destroyer can just hit you head on. So if you are going up against a tank destroyer, be sure that you are relatively a good distance away and keep moving. Do not sit there and try and tank it, because a tank destroyer doesn't care. You have to keep moving. If you're not moving, the tank destroyer is easily going to be able to hit maybe your ammo rack, damage your barrel, hit your loader, maybe your captain. And if he hits your turret, you're basically done for, because then your main advantage is lost now. So definitely keep moving, keep to a hillside, always have the uphill advantage, and so if you're behind it, just lay fire on him. If you have a teammate, it can be a lot easier to take out a tank destroyer with them, just because you can coordinate with them, moving around, making sure one of you keeps the front end of the tank busy while the other person keeps the back end. I don't know if other people have been having problems with tank destroyers, but that's just me personally. I felt like they are really, really strong. Like I said, some people, what they like to do, and if you're a tank driver, you should definitely note this. a lot of people like to do is just ram into the tanks because it's pretty hard sometimes for a new tank destroyer person to destroy a tank. So a lot of people will just ram into you with them. Watch out for that. I know I do it a few times just because I get so frustrated because I suck with them, but everyone else is amazing with them. But that's just my skill level being horrible. So watch out for that because people oftentimes like to just, I'm gonna ram into you, and then just bam, then I'm done with the game because I can't freaking win when my tank's flipped upside down. Yeah, it's a real annoying part. If you're playing realistic or simulation battles, which if you're playing simulation battles, good for you, but if you're playing realistic and you're having some trouble with tank destroyers, just make sure someone in a plane is there, in a bomber. They are your best friend at that point. Due to the fact that their turrets are non-movable and they can't really look up that good, it's really hard for them to shoot a plane down. It's really easy for a plane to bomb a tank destroyer. Or, you know, maybe if you've got a heavy machine gun, just lay some fire on it. Maybe hopefully distract them enough so the tank can come in and just wreck house. So that's usually your best bet in realistic because I know how to fight them. I just can't fight them in realistic. Like I said, I personally believe they're too overpowered. I know a lot of the community disagrees with me on that aspect, but I feel like they're overpowered. Way more overpowered than tank destroyers in, say, World of Tanks or something along those lines. They're, I feel like, pretty well balanced compared to what War Thunder has to offer. So, this is just my personal opinion. A quick little video I decided to do. You know, I figured some of you guys may need help on it. Some of you guys may just like it. If you have any advice for tank destroyers that I don't know, or maybe someone else doesn't know that's new to the game, please leave them in the comment section below. The community could use as much advice as possible, and I like to get better at the game as well, so I will appreciate it if you could leave it, at least for me. So I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, please remember to leave a like, comment, and subscribe. Maybe even favorite if you're feeling old school. There's tons of War Thunder videos on their channel, so go and check those out. And yeah, hope you had an enjoyable time. BioTrashman signing out.